All right, we got a lot to talk about here, but before we actually do that, let me just get all of my ranting out of the way. There's a bunch of protein here. You guys see different types of that. If you've been to the stream, you know you guys have to do your push-ups. I don't want to see you get fat and all that. Someone told me their new push-up goal what they could do because of the stream. I was proud of them. So subscribe to the channel, like this video, do all that, and look there's a lot of lint, a dirty shirt, a dirty room. You guys, I need your help here. Obviously, we're losing all of our money on puts, so you know, feel free to support. Buy me a lint roller, buy me clothes. Anything you don't like about this video, you guys are more than welcome to spend any money to send my way and fix it. So please, but we have a lot to talk about. And I feel like I say that every time, but we're going to talk about the main things with this video, but I want to explain the Brexit vote. We're going to talk about some of the basic stuff that happened today. You had your bank earnings, which was interesting. CGC went up again. The CEO went on. That actually ended up coming down. We sold out of our calls with that, but there's stuff with the marijuana stuff. Tilray got murdered, but then the main thing was the Brexit. But what else happened? There's one more piece of news. Draghi, GT, Netflix, and I think that was pretty much it. Oh, and Jamie Dimon. So some comments from the president of JP Morgan. They had their earnings, but the next thing, Netflix ran up, and that's something I want to talk about because how tomorrow's going to play out and how this Brexit situation plays out. I was saying this on stream. We had a good 6-hour stream. Make sure you guys check that out today. But Netflix is setting up for earnings play, and what it's doing now, a lot of you are asking calls, puts, be careful with it, but how Netflix reacts, it's going to have an effect on the broader market. We're going to see how stocks respond to it and investors, and then again, where we go from here with the market in Brexit, which I'm going to explain here at the rest of this video, that is going to have a very, very big determining factor on just the overall market itself. So Netflix is something I really want to watch. Another thing we saw happen today, we made a cool play. If you guys saw it, we did it was a 2,000% call out. I only made about 300%. So I called it out. I went for the Februaries. Some of you took the weeklies, but that was an important thing, and it's related here. I'm going to make another video talking about this play. I'm also going to talk about the event because China is still coming into play, and that's where Brexit is going to be a concern here. But again, we'll get into that. But GT, Goodyear, it's the same similar story we've been seeing throughout the weeks with a lot of these companies, and they've been cutting their guidance. So GT cut their guidance. They blame slowing European and mainly Chinese sales. So what happened? It dropped, it went kaboom, poof, poof, you know, it's gone. But why I say it like that is because it drops so much. So let's pull it up here. We did it on here, and I'm going to transition after this. I'm going to start showing you guys some of the Brexit stuff and explaining that so you guys get a better idea. But GT dropped from 21 to here, and it hit 52-week lows. It was crazy. We got in literally at like the 26 mark. I can pull that up for you guys, but yeah, they were crazy. You know, that's the thing, but that's not the most important thing now. What I want to talk about is this. So you guys see here, I told you I have this account here, but what do we got here? The GPD, or GPB USD. So this is the pound versus dollar. So this is not inverted, meaning when it goes down, that means it's going down. When it's going up, it means it's going up. So as you see here, up until that vote came through, the pound was dropping, and then it hit that and went up. And now you can kind of see that here in the SPY. And this is what we talked about, and this is what I want to talk about. I want to go over what does this Brexit deal actually mean. What are the possible outcomes? Come on, TTF Mac, bro. Damn it. What the possible outcomes are, and, you know, my questions and my concerns. Because, again, my issue with Brexit right now, it is getting convoluted. We don't know. There's a few dates you guys need to know. Today is one of them, and how it progresses from today. Because apparently how today's going could, you know, this is a kind of a make it or break it moment, but essentially come March 29th, that is the next day you need to know. But pretty much they voted today. There's a few things going on. I would say, I want to be able to say I could explain this the best, but this is why I'm saying I want you guys to step in here, because there's a few different narratives. There's a few different expectations. I even said that. So today they did a vote. It was, you know, the chat was going crazy. They said the deal got rejected, no deal, but that was the market expectation. That's what it came into today. However, I mentioned it in my other videos prior to this. A few days ago, it was a split decision. People didn't know, and really, I think it's because the issue at stake is now there's both this vote, and if it gets, you know, yes or no, but it's now what are the implications for both Brexit, Theresa May, and then this whole do they get to redo the deal or not? And that's where the issue, and this is what I'm saying, it's getting really confusing, especially if you guys have been following along or haven't been following along. So this is what I want to talk about. What I'm saying is watch those events and watch the pound, because that's why today with the pound going up like that and seeing the market come down but then not really bounce too much, that's a very interesting thought, you know. And I want to see, there's been a lot of bad data. Even today we had negative China Lighthouser data, I'm pretty sure. It was some of the trade talks. There's many things, but realistically, the volume and liquidity's there. We're coming into earnings. You got these banks not doing anything bad. It could be manipulation, but it could just be, you know, slowing down just coming into earnings season, which makes a lot of sense. We're about to close here, 5-6 minutes. So actually, I'm going to stop this video real quick so I could get my plays on here. However, the next big thing I want to talk about to get in, you know, when I come back from this, I'm gonna clip this right here, but it's seeing the effect. So I want to talk about, one, I want you guys to examine what the effects will be and getting explained, but what I'm here to explain is the effect that happened last time with Brexit and why. So I want you guys to understand that, and I want you to understand here, you know, the rest of the goal here is for you to get why it has such an economic effect, because I think this is something that a lot of people missed the boat on today in the stream. So let's talk about that, but let me get my plays. I'm gonna buy more puts. There you go. Go, hold this against me. I lose money. I suck. Let's go. Ooh. Love it, love it, love it. Got my plays. Ooh, that's a song. Love it, love it, love it. Got my plays. But look, one of them is calls. I know. Crazy weekly calls. Oh, go watch the stream, please. You see, they're cheap. If you watch the streams, you know why I did that probably. A good hedge. I got some puts, though. But we're going to talk back into Brexit now, but I was going to say something else on a tangent, but good thing I didn't. So here is the Brexit right now. This, not right now, but this is the first time Brexit occurred. So a lot of people came in here into the stream and they discussed it because they were saying, well, what happened last time with Brexit? So here's the market. That's the actual date. You guys can see there. I'm going to move the crosshair. So you see it was very similar. We literally had a move up and then it gapped down. It literally, again, that's where we kind of are now. I wouldn't be surprised to see the same thing. However, some people it's hard to envision because what happened? The vote came through and, well, the markets went up right now. So that's the confusing part. But look at the effect on the market. I think you guys got to realize the market went from 211 to 200. So that's about 5%. That was a 5% gap down. So I don't know how much that would be right now in this market. But again, it had a big effect. Now, why? This is what I want to discuss because people are like, well, what's the point of this whole Brexit deal? Why does it have an effect? Why does the, you know, essentially another big question was, how would the US stock market get affected? This is only going to affect Brexit, you know, or UK, British people. That is the #1 common fallacy you can make. You know, there's no such thing as, haha, your side of the ship is sinking. We're all in the same global boat, you know, like again, related to Goodyear, related to Skyworks, related to Apple. You know, they didn't talk about Europe, but Europe is still an area of growth for them. GT talked about Europe. Goodyear talked about Europe today as part of the reasons for why they're cutting it. But the whole point is now, it's the currency. The currency moved on Brexit 10%. I don't think you guys realize that is a wicked move. That's not supposed to happen on a currency. A global currency as regulated as the pound. You guys got to think. People's values are fluctuating. How many of you guys are from the UK? You know, I know people, their values are fluctuating. That's not good. But when that happens, it's changing the prices of things. It's changing the prices of assets. It's either sparking or slowing down consumerism. And that is the issue right now with the whole Brexit. Because one, it has a risk to change the pound. And why? Because people are uncertain about trade. The value of their currency is going to change because the trade, how much trade they're going to be doing is at is threatened right now. And really, the options that they're going over is that they get this deal where it has stuff like the Ireland backstops. You know, they're trying to make it where they have relations and borders with strategic countries. They don't want to give up certain things, but then the UK is not willing to do stuff, and now that's one, they get their vote, or they get what they want. This is what we're saying. Some people are saying it's all or none, but I'm exploring a few of the different options that have been discussed, you know, where we're at up until this point. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to give anything specific because I think this situation is so convoluted that I wouldn't, this is such a big issue is what I'm telling you. I think they've been saying they have a way to do it, and okay, we're not going to do this. It's politics, you know what I'm saying? But this is such a big issue that it has to be solved. But if it doesn't, the big risk is a hard exit. So a hard exit means big fluctuations in currency. No trade deals are agreed. So pretty much the UK is just a random country now in the middle of Europe that has never done business with the EU. So that's going to change a lot of the business interactions for these companies, countries, and people now, business owners there. The taxes, you know, think about it. If they're not making that much money from trade, they're not getting money from the EU, certain stuff, they could tax people more. The prices of real estate, you know, again, I saw this in 2016. I made about like 70,000 that week. I know Conroy, I don't know, comment how much you made, Conroy. I think you made like 150 or some shit. It's fucking wild. There's a lot of money to be made on it, on these moves with the stock market, but valuations changed, asset prices. I remember during 2016, flats in London fell 30%. It was insane. It was one of the best buy the dip opportunities in real estate in London. You know, there's an effect on there, but pretty much if they don't work out any of these trade deals, if no deal gets passed, it's going to hurt the economy. And already you see it with the, I pointed this out too on the, let me see if it looks, I don't know how it's going to look on TD Ameritrade, but let me see. Yeah, you can kind of see, like here, this is what I'm saying. It looks like they've just been holding it kind of near the bottom, how it's been holding up. And I think the currency's been selling off. You see how it's came down before, but I think that the pound is not, it's just not doing well. It's simple as that. And I think they're trying to hold it up for whatever purpose or reason that they can, or again, and it's kind of slowing things down, but if that's to slow it until they decide. But if a hard exit came in, I think it's going to just give way, because and that's where the next level of valuation is going to come. But the dangerous part, the pound at this 128, 126 level, this is exactly where the pound was during Brexit in 2016. So again, the trade implications, the implications on the market, but if they don't get this, it's going to just change the global landscape. But now, don't underestimate what it's going to do to the stock market, because now companies are worried. Businesses, any business that has growth in Europe has a company there. Imagine S&P, you know, there's Apple stores in Europe. That's the thing. Every Apple store is going to operate different. If you have cash there, it's going to repatriate different. If you're doing any sort of trade, or you have manufacturing where one item goes through here, you know, like just like Mexico, they build the engines for the cars and send them to the US or whatever it may be, right? There's a lot of stuff going on there. Now, you can't underestimate, the UK is big, Italy's important, but now Germany. Germany's your next biggest economy. You know, a lot of us, guess what? We have China, we have the United States. What's the next biggest economy in the world? Germany. A lot of people are not aware of that. Germany's up there. So how that is playing into the UK, Brexit, and all that, that is very important. So I'm going to make a follow-up with this talking about rates now, because there's a way to look at this, predict it, and not predict it, but understand how investors are moving, because this is fixed income, even the currencies. This is big life changes is what I'm saying. Brexit is very important. If it does go through, it has implications to change business and landscape very, very big and heavily. So what are people going to do? You know, they're going to protect their self-interest. They're going to move their money around, and they're going to do it whatever they need to do to accomplish that goal and get that done. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully you guys like it. Let me know. Subscribe to the channel. Come to the stream tomorrow morning. Like the video if it's helpful, and give me some questions. I want to know what you guys' take on this. Please comment below. Let's get some Brexit facts in there. Who thinks the market's going to drop? I think it's lagging. You guys see the puts. I think it's going to be exciting to see. Wow, that's bright. I needed that light. That's good. Boom, boom. All right, love y'all. Peace.